Sisters of the Women's Circle, hi. This video is to introduce you to our book that I'm going to be sharing with you at our January 2026 get together. The 13 Original Clan Mothers, Your Sacred Path to Discovering the Gifts, Talents, and Abilities of the Feminine Through the Ancient Teachings of the Sisterhood by Jamie Sands, was copyright in 1993, and its dedication includes the memory of her ancestors of the Long Hair Clan, Mary Ross Sands, and her father, John Ross of the Cherokee. And then we have the table of contents. Note to readers, that simply explains why certain words are capitalized. It's because of a form of respect, and also to indicate things are holy or sacred. It also says, in Native American culture, we see everything as being alive. Each living thing has a specific role as a teacher and a family member. Everything on earth, whether stone, tree, creature, cloud, sun, moon, or human being, is one of our relatives. We capitalize the names of each part of our planetary family because they represent sacred living extensions of the great mystery, who were placed here to help humankind evolve spiritually. We capitalize traditions and teachings because these words represent the equivalent of another faith's holy books. In tribal traditions, we do not consider Grandfather Sun as a deity. We do not worship trees or rocks. We do, however, see the eternal flame of love that the great mystery placed in all of creation, and we honor that spiritual essence. In the Seneca language, we call it Arenda. This is the spiritual essence or creative principle called the eternal flame of love that is found inside of all life forms. There is only one original source, and we call that creative source the great mystery. The Thunder Chief, Heno, is capitalized because of his role in bringing life-giving waters, without which we could not survive. Grandfather Sun and Grandmother Moon are capitalized because we see them as living beings. The Great Mystery gave them their missions of dividing day from night, bringing light and warmth to our world, as well as pulling the tides of our oceans. In all cases, the words that are capitalized are given respect because of the sacred missions they carry and the extension of the Great Mystery's love that they represent. We teach that all life matters, and we honor the medicines of all life forms as sacred extensions of the Great Mystery's loving plan. And there is a poem that she wrote in 1992, Night Wind. The night wind came crying, knocking at my door, squeezing through the cracks in the ancient adobe, bringing the spirits risen from the bones of the clan mothers. I listened, I heard. The talking drums and chants were riding on the wind. It was time. I donned my shawl, stole into the night to dance, to celebrate, for the buffalo had returned. And then we have a diagram of the medicine wheel of the 13 clan mothers. And a description of each follows that. And then we have an introduction. This part explains how she came by these stories. I'm going to read that to you also. Maybe this will be another 15-minute video. The story of the 13 original clan mothers was passed to me through the two Kiowa, that's spelled K-I-O-W-A, grandmothers who were my teachers in the early 1970s. Sissy, Laughing Crow, and Berta, Broken Bow, gave me a legacy upon which I was to build my life. As near as we could figure, Sissy was 120 and Berta was 127 when I was a young woman of 22. Both of these grandmothers were born shortly after the Trail of Tears in the mid to late 1840s, when their families, along with many others who refused to be enrolled and to live on reservations, traveled south to the freedom accorded in the mountains of Mexico. In the past 20 years or so, the Bureau of Indian Affairs of the United States government has tried unsuccessfully to reclaim these families by offering to enroll them and bring them back to reservations in the United States. The traditions that were allowed to live because of the refusal of these people to give up their connection to the Earth Mother are the basis of these stories. I am truly grateful for the wisdom of this women's medicine and for the strength it took those Native American families to carve out new lives in a strange land. Because of their persistence, these ancient teachings are still alive today. I am very grateful that my first teacher in Mexico, Joaquin Muriel Espinosa, took me to Sissy and Berta, realizing that I needed to learn women's medicine instead of insisting that I follow the male warrior way. His insight has opened my life and path in ways I did not understand at the time. I honor the greatness of his humility and his desire for my best interests every time I see women following a male medicine way, becoming confused and sometimes taking advantage of because they have not been trained to respect the feminine principle in themselves. Many other female elders have spoken to me of the clan mother stories of women's medicine, but were saddened that much of the history has been lost during the preceding generations. I have found great joy in being able to revive the history which would otherwise be lost, and to share our women's legacy with the world. As it was then and shall be until we change ourselves from within, the legacy of women and the Earth Mother is at risk. Our female and male roles in humankind stem from the 13 original clan mothers who emerged as aspects of the Earth Mother and Grandmother Moon, because all things are born of the feminine. To become a fully grown woman, which in Native American traditions happens around the age of 52, I was instructed to work on my personal journey by developing my personal talents and gifts using the 13 original clan mothers as role models. I was taught how to understand the medicine of each of these ancient grandmothers and how to relate to each as my teacher. Although I have many years to go before attaining my majority, I have come to love these clan mothers who have been my spirit teachers, and I trust how they speak to my heart. The clan mothers were the spirit teachers of the female elders who were my physical teachers in Mexico and have taught many spiritual lessons to the medicine lodges of women for centuries. The 13 original clan mothers represent the aspects of what I have come to find most beautiful in women and in the feminine principle. These clan mothers have taught me to see the beauty in my sisters and brothers of all races and creeds. They have comforted me when I was weary or in pain and have taught me how to heal myself. Grandmothers Sissy and Berta passed the gift of knowing the original 13 to me, and now it is time for me to pass this gift to the sisterhood of humankind. This is not to say that the men of our earth will not benefit from these grandmothers, for the men are also the children who were born of women and have a female side. Now, however, it is necessary for all women to know the legacy they have been given in order to heal themselves before they reclaim their roles of healing and nurturing others. In this manner, the wounded feminine aspect in women will no longer need to be hostile, angry, separatist oriented, or manipulative in order to cover old pain. From this vantage point, women can then present the healed role models they represent, leading others through example instead of through male conquest or competition, allowing our world to reclaim a new point of balance between male and female. It was many years after receiving these stories of the 13 original clan mothers that I realized that these teachings were common to many tribes and that bits and pieces of this legacy had been passed from the black lodges of women's medicine circles for hundreds of years. The beloved women of the Cherokee, the clan mothers of the Iroquois, the grandmothers or wisdom keepers of the Kiowa, Choctaw, and many others have heard parts of this legacy. I began to more fully understand how the dreaming circles of women kept this legacy alive through the sharing of their visions and dreams. Although this legacy is not from one particular tribe or nation, but rather came to me from my two Kiowa grandmother teachers, it belongs to all of the children of Earth. I was first told these stories in Spanish since I did not speak Kiowa. I was told by Sissy and Berta that as I learned the lessons of the 13 steps of the women wheel, more understanding would come to me. In truth, the spirits of the 13 clan mothers have guided and shaped my personal progress as a woman for the last 18 years and continue to teach me as I grow. I have added some references to one or two of the stories that have been told to me by other tribal grandmothers over the years, having discovered that all the histories of the earth have been very similar. The overall view of the story of the 13 original clan mothers has been shared in the Black Lodges of women all across Native America. But the Indian language words that I have used in this text are of the Seneca language because that is what is most familiar to me. I asked the 13 original clan mothers how I could best present their medicine stories. I was told that the Seneca medicine wheel with the pathways to peace and the 12 cycles of truth could give me a blueprint or structure that would allow people to see the whole picture. I discovered that truth is found in every tradition, and sometimes the blending of those truths bring further clarity. So I have taken the liberty of placing stories of each of the original 13 clan mothers on the Seneca wheel to show the importance of truth and peace in women's medicine among every tribe and medicine lodge. The 12 cycles of truth in our Seneca teachings have been assigned to months for simplicity's sake. I have added a 13th cycle of truth, be the truth, in order to complete the medicine wheel of the 13 clan mothers. Because of the difference between moon cycles and the calendar months used in our modern world, I have referred to a moon cycle falling in a certain month. As we all recognize, moon cycles fall in more than one month, but I have chosen to adapt the simplest way of conveying each clan mother's essence to our present way of thinking. I prefer that those who follow the lunar calendar look to those cycles and dates for the correct moon cycle that each clan mother holds. The shell of turtle shows us that the Earth Mother gave us the first lunar calendar. The circle framed in the center of the shell has 13 parts and is representative of the 13 original clan mothers and their guardianship of the 13 lunar cycles. The sacred turtle is the embodiment of the Earth Mother, and as Turtle's shell protects her body, the 13 clan mothers and their lunar cycles depicted on her shell protect the mother planet and all living things. It is through connecting to these rhythms and cycles that this story cannot be considered a traditional legend particular to one tribe. But I can assure you that it is women's medicine gathered from all of the places the remembering was held by grandmother wisdom keepers. The basic story has been unchanged. The only additions on my part are the descriptive passages and some names of the totems of each clan mother. Sissy and Berta described some animals with physical characteristics, but did not use the modern names we know them by. The animals' modern names came to me via the 13 original clan mother spirits speaking to my heart and showing me their medicines. I have supposed that when an animal became extinct in one area of the world and was only physically recorded in petroglyphs like the camels and mammoths depicted in North and South America, the oral legends of those creatures continued, but the actual animal became a mythical beast to those who had never seen one. I believe that this is one reason that Sissy and Berta would call the camel the humpbacked four-legged of the desert who needs no water. Another example of this is found in the Paiute tribe, which holds the bighorn sheep as sacred, even though most of these creatures were killed, like the buffalo, with the coming of European settlers. Petroglyphs of buffalo and bighorn sheep still speak to our tribes by carrying the sacredness of our ancestors' medicines. The 13 crystal skulls are part of the original story and tradition, and also were spoken of by 4 other grandmothers of different tribes. To my knowledge, nothing has been written about the history of these crystal skulls based on Indian oral tradition or history. I have put the information on the crystal skulls that I received from Sissy, Berta, and Joaquin's teachings in the part of this book's conclusion called Entering the Council House of the 13 Original Clan Mothers. That's found at the back. For 18 years, my connection to the medicine of the 13 Original Clan Mothers has grown inside me. Each new lesson presented by the 13 Clan Mothers has added to my understanding and has forged the trails to my personal growth. I have chosen to open these teachings and my personal vision in order to share the map of healing that I have received. These medicine stories and traditions are my giveaway to human beings everywhere so that we may continue to dream the dream and to dance the dance of creation, bringing inner peace and therefore world peace. That's really good introduction. Then, and I won't read this now, my Healing Quest vision of the 13 Clan Mothers shields. I might do a video on that. I will decide in the next couple days. I think that's enough for today. Thank you for listening. Happy New Year.